Okay, dear students, welcome back to Lab 5. And now we are going to see how to use loops in PLSQL. Loops in PLSQL can be done in various ways. Okay, let us understand why do we use a loop. When we want to execute certain statement or certain set of statements repeatedly over n number of times, then we use the looping construct. The looping, like in any other language, okay, have variations in PLSQL. For example, there is a simple for loop, simple loop. There is a simple loop using exit. There is something called a simple loop using exit when. Okay, you see exit when statement. You have simple while loops and you have for loops. So there are four possibilities or four ways of looping a statement or set of statements in PLSQL. You can use either one of them unless and until you are being asked to use, a specific one. Now let us see how to use, them one after other. Simple loops using exit. Okay, so let's see how the syntax is written. Now here you have to remember that you're going to make use of a keyword called as loop and end loop. Earlier we used to say if and if, right? Here, because we are trying to loop certain things that comes inside this block multiple times. So we are saying loop, and after writing or looping the statements, when we want to finish, we will say end loop. So this is like an opening bracket and this is like a closing bracket. Loop and end loop. Here we write the statement 1 which is executed. Here we write statement 2 which is executed. Okay. And then we say if the condition is true, then exit. Okay. Don't loop these statements anymore. Check a condition. If this condition is done, then exit. So when we are using if condition inside a loop to make a simple loop using exit. Okay, so we say if condition, then exit, and then we say because we started an if loop, we have to close it. We say and if. Okay, so this is how a looping is done. Okay, now we have, a little more variation of using if looping condition by using, okay, exit when. Now let us see how to do that. We say loop and end loop, and then we say, repeat the statement one, repeat the statement two for me, but now exit when some condition happens. So this is just doing the job of if and if. Okay, but we're not writing and if condition, then exit, and then end if. We are just simply making it as a one line go. We are saying exit when some condition occurs. Okay, now let us see an example of them. Okay, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to start activity 4. Okay, now here we have, can you just tell me what do we see here? We are saying declare a counter variable. Okay, whose data type is of type number. Okay, and then we say begin counter colon equal to 1. So we are starting the counter from value 1 and we are saying loop and end loop. And here we are checking if the counter is greater than 10, then don't do anything exit. Otherwise, do what? And if otherwise, what to do? We say dbms underscore output dot print line the value of the counter. And then we are saying counter equal to counter plus 1. So the second time counter becomes 2 because we are adding 1 to it. Then we are checking if 2 is greater than 10. No. So don't exit. Just come out of the if statement and then do the job of printing. Now here, students, what does this exit mean? It means I am in a loop. I am checking if the condition is true. Then I want to stop the loop. I just want to exit. Okay. So it will not come and do the job which we have written after end if statement because the control exited already at this point. And this should happen when our counter value becomes greater than 10. Okay. It becomes like, for example, 11. Then it should stop. Hmm. Or even, yeah, let's see the output. 10 is greater than 10. Yeah, 10 is equal to 10. Okay. Now let's see what is the output of this activity 4. 4. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So if each time it takes 1, check 1 is greater than 10. No. So we want to print 1. And we say counter is equal to counter plus 1. So it was 1 already. We are adding 2 to it. Now counter becomes 2. Loop. If counter is 2 is greater than 10. No, it is not. So just end the if, come to the next line after end if and print 2. Then add 1 to your counter variable. Then now counter become 3. It keeps on doing this. 3 is greater than 10. No, come and print 3. Make it 4 now. 4. 4 is greater than 10. No, 4 is not greater than 10. So don't exit. Just finish the end if and come and print 4. And keep on doing like this. When it becomes now 1, 5, 6, 7, 8th time, 9th time, and 10th time. So counter becomes 10. Okay. Counter becomes 9. Okay, let's take it from 9. 9 is greater than 10. No. So come here, print 9. And now make it as 10. Is 10 greater than 10? No. 10 is not greater than 10. Don't exit. Come and print 10. And then it becomes 11. 11 becomes 11 is greater than 10. Yes. Then you have to exit. So that is why you see when you exit, you just come out of the loop. And here we are saying end loop and end the program. So it says, it prints all the values and then it says PLSQL procedure completed successfully. That's it. Okay. So this is how a simple loop works with using if then. Okay. So done. Now let us take another example. We say declare num equal to take the value of number from the user. For example, if the user gives value 10, counter is equal to, for example, 1 here. Counter is 1. And we are saying product is a number. Okay. So basically, we are trying to print the mathematical table for a number what the user is entering. And then here we are, okay. For now, in the begin statement, we are initializing the counter to 1. So I can say 10 multiplied by 1, 10 is my number multiplied by the counter and then the value of it. Okay. So we're saying, okay, now start the loop. We're saying product is equal to number. What is the number? 10 is the number. 10 multiplied by 1. So product is how much? 10 only. So we are saying dbms underscore output dot print line number. Number is 10. Just the symbol of multiplication and the counter is 1. Symbol of equal to and then you're putting the print product. So 10 multiplied by 1 is 10. So you print it. Now you are increasing the counter value. So counter becomes 2 and then here saying exit 1 counter becomes greater than 10. It is not greater than 10 now. It is only 2. It is only 2 right now for the first iteration. Now we are saying exit when count 2 is greater than 10. No, it's the condition is false, so you never exit. Here it is saying that if the condition is false, you don't exit. But if the condition becomes true, then you exit. So 2 now counter becomes 2. 2 multiplied by 10. The value of the product is 20. We are printing 20 and we are printing the number and the counter. So here in this case, 10 multiplied by 2 is equal to 20. Counter becomes now plus 1. So counter becomes 3. 3 now. 3 is greater than 10? No. So you repeat for the third time. Print the product for the third time. Now come to this line and it will increase one more counter value. So this time it is 4. 4 is greater than 10? No. So you again loop. Print calculate 4, multiply by 10. Product is 50, print counter 4, print number as 10, and then you are increasing the counter. So it becomes 5 now. Okay, and then you're checking 5 is greater than 10. No, so you're again looping. Okay, and then the number is 10. The counter is how much? 6. So 6 multiplied by 10, 60. You're printing 60 here. You are printing, 6 here. You are printing the number 10 here. And then you are coming to this line and you are just keeping on increasing until it becomes 10. And you do the same for the 10th time. And when it becomes 11, 11 becomes greater than 10, then the loop exits and we don't have any other thing here. So we are saying end loop. Okay. So now let's see this. Activity 5. Okay. So we come here 5. Okay. So 10. Okay. You see 10 multiplied by 10. Okay. Let us make a simple change here. I will just say 11. So what will be the output? Now, can you please tell me what extra thing what change it will do? It will not exit when it is 10. When the counter is 10, it will not exit. Rather, it will exit at 11. So it will print 11 and then it will exit. So let us save this and then execute it again. Okay, number is, for example, 10. Now you see 11 is also been printed here. So this is how the simple if condition works by using exit when. Okay, and then you have end loop. So you have to be very careful in remembering the syntax. So if, loop and loop. If it is if, then end if. Okay, so this is the starting and the ending. And in the middle, if you're using if you inside a loop or looping to controlling the loop by using if condition, then you write if inside the loop. Or if you are controlling the number of times the loop should execute by using when, then you write it as exit when. Okay, now let us see the last example. Okay, doing the same job by using while. Now we don't have loop, and we do not have a simple loop with using if. No, with using exit when. No, it is just direct way. When you're using a while loop doesn't need any if or exit when conditions to control it. So we are saying while counter is less than 10. Okay, keep on looping the product, calculating the product, printing the product, and then counter becomes count plus 1. So initially the counter variable is not having anything. So we are putting, a value 1 inside it. Okay. And for example, the user is giving, the value 2. So it will print 2 multiplied by 1 for the first time. Then it will say 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by 3, and it will keep on giving you the product. Okay, so this is how the while loop is written. You write while and then you say end loop. And then you will give the condition while condition, okay? And then you will say loop and end loop. Are you understanding the difference? This difference is only this part. The way how you loop them. You loop by using a looping condition. When it is coming to while, you just give it directly while and the looping condition. Now let us execute this. Okay, so I'm saying 2. Yeah, it keeps on multiplying by the counter variables. This is the number that we have entered, and this is the counter values, which is looping from 1 to 10 and then giving the product. Okay, now if I make it as 5, what change it will do? It will just work until the counter is 5. Okay, and you see here. Okay, so number is 2 and it works up till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because we gave the counter to stop at 5. So it will say while counter is not less than or equal to 5, do this work. If it is 5, okay, then exit. Okay. Now we have one more example where we are trying to use a for loop. Okay, interesting. Now in the for loop, what do we do in the for loop? We are using the for loop construct. Okay, the for loop construct. How is the loop ended? By using end loop keyword. So we are saying for counter in the lower limit and the upper limit. Keep on looping. Now, what does this mean? It means that for counter is equal to 1, 1 is less than or equal, 1 is less than or equal to 10. Now, do the work for me. Calculate the product and put the value of number multiplied by counter and then the product. Okay. And then you will say end loop. Okay, and here you see students, you are not using a while condition, you are not using if condition, you're not using exit when condition. Then how are you controlling the for loop? Because we have the condition given in the first line of for loop itself, which says for counter is in this range 1 to 10. Okay, keep on repeating the statements that we have written inside the for loop. So it is rather read like this. For counter in 1, okay, till 10, loop means repeat this job for the first time, second time, third time, and 10th time. Okay, so this is how the for loop is written. Okay, so I need to close this. And here, okay, let me clear the screen for you. Clear screen. And here we want to execute the activity 7. Value 2. And you see time 10:20. Okay. So if I make it as 100, you see, file save. File save. Make sure that you're saving it properly. If it is text file, it will never run. Okay, so value of 2 and you see 100 until 100. Okay, it's done. Okay, let's see here. Okay, done. We are done with lab 5 and see you in the lab 6. Bye.